before my fellow company leaders for one sole purpose, and that is to inspire you all to have trust and pride in Johnson & Johnson. I am not here to deny that Johnson & Johnson has encountered problems in the past, nor am I here to ignore every criticism that it has faced. Instead, I am here to remind you all of the flourishing and strong company that you work for. Every day when you come to work, you may or may not notice Johnson & Johnson's mission statement. Since 1943, every facility in this nation has proudly posted the 4 primary responsibilities of this company: our consumers, our employees, the community, and our shareholders. Despite past problems, including the Tylenol recall, the Tylenol crisis of 1982, and several other Tylenol recalls, Johnson & Johnson has been accredited with having the gold standard of crisis management. We have acknowledged our past mistakes, and we have learned from them. We now know how to deal with problems in an ethical and effective way. But there is more to Johnson & Johnson than its crisis management. This company does not only sell pharmaceutical products, but it promotes human well-being as the world's largest consumer healthcare company. If consumers worldwide trust us, you should too. Our Tylenol product alone saves people the misery of headache pain. It saves baby the misery of earache, and it saves women the suffering of menstrual pain. Our products change lives, and you change lives because you work for us. In order for Johnson & Johnson to uphold this credible crisis management and to continue to improve the well-being of our consumers, we must further enhance our corporate understanding in crisis training and education. We are a reliable and hardworking company. We need to uphold this image and continue to improve it. I ask of you your attentiveness and cooperation as I prove to you why Johnson & Johnson is not only a company worth working for, but also a company worth believing in. Each of you should feel proud that the company that you work for is known for having the gold standard of crisis management. Many people overlook what exactly such a title means, but it is important that you do not. You represent a group of loyal workers who respond to crises in a way that not only upholds public trust, but that also establishes corporate credibility. Critics and competing pharmaceutical companies never fail to remind us that Tylenol was responsible for killing 8 people in the 1980s, and that it has had several recalls in the past 20 years. What our competitors fail to say, however, is that we have dealt with these problems. In fact, we were able to restore our corporate image just 3 months after the 1982 incident, when Tylenol sales returned to 80% of their pre-crisis level. Our response then is similar to what you all have been trained to do today. We act fast. We make public statements, offer free samples, provide a toll-free hotline, make presentations, and create new packaging. Our techniques are used not to simply suggest to the public that we are the world's leading pharmaceutical company, but instead to convince the public of it. As an employee of Johnson & Johnson, you are part of this magic. No matter what position you hold in this company, you contribute. You help the company prove itself committed to the public's well-being, and you help prove this company to be reliable. We are a smart company, one that acts fast and redeems itself in the light of a crisis. Each day, you come to work and help Johnson & Johnson uphold this image. But why, may you ask? What is it about this company that makes you not need to contribute, but want to contribute? Simple. It's what we stand for. You should feel inspired to work for Johnson & Johnson because we sell pharmaceutical products that make people healthy. Regardless of whether you work in research, sales, manufacturing, or even public relations, you contribute. This company manufactures and sells countless therapeutical products that treat a range of diseases that affect your mother, your grandfather, your child, your teacher, or even just the man walking down the street. In 2008, Johnson & Johnson generated a sales revenue of $63.75 billion. If this number says nothing more, it should tell you that the public trusts us. $63.75 billion does not represent a huge lump of money that we aimlessly earned. It represents well-spent money that our loyal consumers spent to improve their medical conditions. Your work in this company is reflective of that sales revenue. If it were not for you, we would not be the company that we pride ourselves in being. I ask you to recognize our sales revenue not to gloat our success, but instead to make you realize that our consumers know that we are a reliable company. If they notice, I ask that you too recognize this. Our company will only continue to flourish and grow if our employees have faith in all of the goodness that we produce and sell. After all, a corporate identity is not simply shaped by attaining a high revenue, but instead also by the employees who make the company what it is. In order to guarantee that Johnson & Johnson remains esteemed for its crisis management and its loyal consumers, I have devised a plan. My plan is simple so long as I have your cooperation, and I am confident that you can and will embrace this plan in the event of a potential unpredicted crisis. In order to safeguard our reputation and to preserve our corporate ethos, we need to develop a pre-crisis training and education plan. We have proof that we can act successfully in the event of an unplanned crisis. But I ask you this, what better way is there to be prepared for a crisis than to have the entire corporation educated and informed about crisis training? We must first deploy a crisis team and corporate spokesperson to identify risk areas. Then we must conduct crisis simulations. Next, we must publicize communications throughout the company. And lastly, we must mobilize our crisis plan in general, composing a formal manuscript to be distributed to the different branches within the company. To my fellow company leaders and executives, I remind you one last time of our mission statement. As a corporate entity, our 4 primary responsibilities are our consumers, our employees, our community, and our shareholders. The company that you work for has successfully responded to crises in the past and has even attained the honorable title of having the gold standard of crisis management. Each of us is a fundamental player in the success of Johnson & Johnson, and each of us should feel motivated to work for this company because it promotes human well-being to the people in our own lives. We can do nothing more to uphold our image than to be prepared. I have devised a pre-crisis training and education plan that will protect us from any unplanned crisis that may attempt to taint our image. We have proved ourselves hardworking, efficient, and motivated workers. We, Johnson & Johnson, could not and would not be the same without each of you. For the past 120 years, this company has prided itself on its ethos. I ask you to believe in what we stand for and help protect the image that we have worked so diligently to uphold. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me who you were supposed to be. Thank you.